Hello everyone. In today's video, I'd like to introduce to you my top 3 favorite online dictionaries. Obviously, there are many online dictionaries out there and they all offer fantastic features. However, in today's video, I'm focusing on monolingual learners dictionaries. This means only English to English and only those that are designed specifically for learners of English. All 3 dictionaries here cover the basic features such as definitions, examples, parts of speech, and pronunciation, so I won't be commenting on these default features. Instead, I'll be focusing on unique aspects that really make these dictionaries stand out from the rest of the crowd. All of these dictionaries are free to use, and you can find the links for each one in the description below. So let's get started. Number 3 on my list is the Collins Dictionary. This is a free online dictionary with a number of amazing features that I'd like to describe here. First of all, this dictionary offers information on word frequency that is very clear. What do I mean by this? Well, let's take a look. I'm going to look up the word is, the verb is. Now, here you can see that we have 5 red circles, meaning that this word is very frequent in the English language. It's a word that we find everywhere. Now, let's compare that to a word that is less common. I'm going to look up the word redact. This time, you can see that only one of the red circles is filled, meaning that this word is not very common and is a word that you will probably not see very frequently in the English language. Another great feature that some of you might really like about this dictionary is the video pronunciation. So let's look up a word like prevent. If you scroll down, you can see a video pronunciation of the word. I also love the built-in thesaurus that the Collins Dictionary offers. What is a thesaurus? Well, a thesaurus is a dictionary that gives you synonyms. So by clicking on thesaurus from the first page or the home page of this dictionary and looking up a word, I'm going to look up the word prevent again, you will see a list of synonyms that are provided here. So we have stop, avoid, frustrate, restrain, etc. What's also great is that you can have these synonyms categorized based on the meaning sense. So for example, if you're looking at the verb prevent in the meaning of to keep someone from doing something, these are the synonyms. But if you're looking at this word in the sense of avoid, then these are the synonyms that you should use. We also have idioms in it. So the word prevent means stop, avoid, frustrate, but it also means to nip in the bud, which is an idiom with the same meaning. Finally, the last feature about the Collins Dictionary that I'd like to talk about is the grammar tab, which again you can access from the home page. And through this tab, you can look up some grammatical terms. So starting from tenses, I can look up the tense present perfect, and you will see that I'm given a grammar guide, a list of instructions on how and when to use the present perfect tense. So this comes in a number of pages. You can browse from one page to another by scrolling down to the bottom of each page. And it doesn't always have to be tenses. You can also look at other grammatical terms. For example, I'm going to look up indefinite pronoun. Let's see what we get. Well, here we have instructions on what indefinite pronouns are and how to use them. Okay, moving on to number 2 on my list. Number 2 on my list is the Oxford Learner's Dictionary. And here's why this dictionary is one of my favorites. First of all, I love the fact that the levels of usage are shown based on the Common European Framework of Reference. So as you saw in the Collins Dictionary, we had those red circles showing us how frequent a word is. Now we have a similar thing here with the Oxford Learner's Dictionary, but in a more tangible and understandable way. I'll show you what I mean. Let's look up some words, starting with the word stop. Now, if you look up the word stop, you will see that it's been labeled as an A1 level word. If you're familiar with the Common European Framework of Reference benchmarks, A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, and C2, you know that each of these labels correspond to a certain level. A1 is beginners, A2 is elementary, B1 is pre-intermediate, B2 is intermediate, C1 is upper intermediate, and C2 is advanced. So we know that the verb stop is an A1 level word. Not only is it a very frequent word, but it's a word that's used by A1 level learners. So even beginners know this word. Now, I can look up another word. I'm going to look up the verb prevent this time. As you can see, prevent is an A2 level verb, meaning that it's a bit more advanced compared to stop. How about quit? Let's look up this verb. Quit is B1. So you're more likely to hear the verb quit from someone who is from the B1 or pre-intermediate level. Let's keep going. How about the verb suspend? What level is that? Well, the verb suspend is B2, intermediate. And finally, the verb cease, as you can see, is a C1 level word. So how can this be useful for me as a language learner? Well, if I'm a language learner and I'm aiming for a score of, let's say, 7 in IELTS, or maybe 9 in CELPIP, or 100 in the TOEFL IBT, I know that I'm going to have to use C1 level vocab in my writing. So this dictionary shows me exactly what these words are. Another wonderful feature offered by the Oxford Learner's Dictionary is the word lists. And you can access the word lists from this tab here. Let's go to the word lists home together. Here, you have a list of vocab categorized based on various features. For example, the Oxford 3000 and 5000 level words are the most important words to learn in English. These are the words that every learner needs to know in order to understand and use the language effectively. These words are mostly A1, A2, B1, B2, and some C1 level words. So here we have words like abandon, ability, able, and we also have words from a higher level. So you can basically go through this list and try to learn the words, especially the ones that you might not know. So this is more useful for those of you who are trying to fill in the gaps, words that you should know, but for some reason don't. Another list that you could use is the list called the academic list. It's called the Oxford Phrasal academic lexicon. Let's take a look at this list. So here we have words that are used by academic writers and mostly found in academic texts. So words like ability, abnormal, abnormality, above, absence, absolute. These words are very useful for people who are taking academic tests, such as the TOEFL IBT or the academic IELTS. And knowing how to use them can really help boost your score in those tests. So check out the lists, which you can find here on the webpage, or you can download and use on other devices, or even when you're offline. Speaking of the word lists, another word list which I find immensely useful is what is called the Oxford phrase list. And this is a very, very useful list. Let's take a look and I'll tell you why it's so great. Here, we don't only have a list of words, but we have a list of phrases that are very useful, categorized based on level. So, for example, a phrase like a few is categorized as A1. So even beginners know this and probably use it. Or take a look at the phrase a good idea, also an A1 level. Now, if we scroll down, we see a phrase such as far as something is concerned. Now, this phrase is more advanced, and this is something that's used by B2 or C1 level learners. So if you say something like, as far as I'm concerned, this is something that a B2 level learner would say. But if you say, as far as something or someone is concerned, that's a C1 or an upper intermediate level expression. So take a look at these expressions, see which ones you use and what levels these phrases come from. And finally, in the word list home, you can find a section where you can find words and phrases categorized based on their themes. So let's see how that works. Click on word list and then click on topics. Let's say I'm preparing for a speaking test and I know that I'm going to talk about someone's appearance. So I click on appearance and then I want to talk about this person's facial hair, for instance. So I click on facial hair and I get all the words that are related to a person's facial hair. So you get a basic word like beard, which is an A2 level word. You get a word like bristle, which is a C2 or an advanced level word. And you get words like bum fluff, which is a C2 level word. And you might be like, what does bum fluff mean? Well, if you click on it, you're taken to this page. It says, bum fluff is the soft hair that grows on the upper lip and chin of a boy as his beard begins to grow. So next time you see your friend with his showing off his beard, you can say, hey man, nice bum fluff. All right, guys. So finally, moving on to my number one pick for the best online dictionary. And that is the Longman Dictionary of Contemporary English Online. Now, this was a very difficult pick because all three dictionaries here are fantastic resources and they offer amazing learning opportunities. I've chosen Longman as my number one favorite dictionary because of these reasons, which I will describe. First of all, the amazing amount of usage information that the Longman Dictionary provides really makes it a fantastic resource for learners. What do I mean by this? First of all, you have separate usage notes, meaning you can see whether or how frequently a word is used in speaking versus writing. Let's look up the word prevent, for example. Here we have the verb prevent along with all the information that the other dictionaries give us. But then you also have S2 and W1. Now, S2 means that this is a level 2 spoken word. It's in the top 2,000 spoken words category, while it's in the top 1,000 written words category, meaning that it's a level 1 writing word, but a level 2 speaking word. And this distinction between speaking and writing can really help you guys use this word effectively when it comes to usage. Another thing that I really love about the Longman Dictionary is the register notes. Let me show you what it is. Let's look up a word like discuss. And you can see that there is a box here that says register. Now, register is the way we use a word, mostly a comparison between how we use a word in spoken English versus how it's used in written English. As you can see, it says, in everyday English, people usually say talk about rather than discuss. So look at the example. It's good to be able to talk about these things. This is something that you hear people say in everyday English. While it's definitely okay to say it's good to be able to discuss these things, it's not as common as using the word talk about. So these register notes are very helpful for those of you who want to learn not just what a word means, but also how it's used in real daily life. Another feature is the built-in collocations. Let me show you. I'm going to look up the word drive. Now, in addition to all of the other pieces of information that we've discussed so far, we have a box that shows collocations. So we have some phrases or words that are commonly used with the word drive. So for example, we have to drive someone crazy, to drive someone mad, or drive someone insane. You have drive somebody up the wall, drive somebody around the bend, or drive someone out of their mind. Drive someone to distraction, drive someone to despair, to desperation, or drive somebody to drink. So we have these lovely collocational forms which really help you use the words in a very natural way in your writing. Finally, we have usage and grammar points. Let's take a look. Let's look up the word break this time. So we see the word break. And again, if you scroll down, you will see a grammar guide. And the grammar guide says break belongs to a group of verbs where the same noun can be the subject of the verb or its object. So you can say, I broke a glass, and you can also say, a glass broke. This is a very important piece of information on the grammar of this word and how it's used. So make sure to check out the grammar guide. These basic grammar notes also point out mistakes that learners commonly make. If you look up the word discuss and scroll down again, you will see that we have a note on a mistake that learners often make. So it says, don't say discuss about something. Just say to discuss something. So these common mistakes might be the same types of mistakes that you are making in your usage of English as well. So you better be on the lookout and make sure you don't make these mistakes in the future. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you make effective use of these tools for learning and improving your English. If you like this video, don't forget to push the like button and subscribe to this channel. Thanks for watching.